Hi guys, just making a quick video. I'm going to live stream it and then download it so I can upload it to YouTube. I'm not sure how this is going to pan out because I'm going to try and do it in one take and maybe edit it later. So I had to go for a nap this afternoon because I haven't been sleeping very well lately, getting about 3 or 4 hours sleep and then having to go back to bed for a couple of hours later in the afternoon. And I woke up from my nap this evening about 8 o'clock. Well, I woke up about 7 o'clock actually, and then got up to find my mum fretting and worrying about losing a hearing aid. She's lost it a couple of times since I've been here. We found it up at the shop once. And I found it in her car as well once because she loses it when she takes her mask off. She just comes out of the shop and pings her mask off and it fires the hearing aid off. Not the fearing aid. The hearing aid fires it off like a flipping elastic band. Anyway, these hearing aids aren't cheap. They cost about £100 each if you lose one. So I'm not kicking off, but I'm using a bit of influence saying, well, they cost a lot of money and you should look after them. I'm always going to find them for you and stuff like that. And she's getting a bit upset. And I was saying it costs £100 to replace it. So anyway, the long and the short of it was, we went through the logical process of where you last saw it and did you have them when you left the house and did you have them in the car? And the first time she can remember not having them was at the petrol station. So I went around with a torch and looked around the house, checked all the obvious places where it probably wasn't. Excuse the shadow. So I checked around the floor, in the kitchen and in the bathroom. And see, I know a thing about how the mind works and how to find things. It's a logical process. Hypnotists are very good at it because they're able to access that part of your mind that remembers where you had it last or where you lost it. And I can do a thing or two with the mind, as you probably know if you've been following me for a while now. But anyway, so I'm going around looking for this thing, and Mum's kind of sat there feeling sorry for herself. And I said to her, I said, "Have you checked the chair that you're sitting in?" And she said, "No, it's not in the chair because I had them both on when I left the house." And I said, "Well, check the chair anyway." And she said, "It's not in the chair." And I said, "Look, check the chair anyway, because if we have to go out walking about," because she went for a long walk with the dogs earlier, and she thinks she might have lost it on the walk. So I thought it'd be just our luck to go out walking 5 miles, trying to scour every blade of grass, come home and it's in her chair. So I don't doubt her integrity, but I wanted to just rule out the places where it couldn't be. So I said, right, check the chair. And while she gets up to check the chair, I go in the other room, right, and retrieve this. Now that's not her hearing aid, right? So while she's looking, she sits back down and she can't find it. And I didn't think she would find it. And I said, "Is this it?" And she looks at me funny. And I knew it wasn't it. But she looks at me funny and says, "No, that's not it." But I know how the mind works, right? She's seen something that looks like her hearing aid, that represents her hearing aid, and I found it. Well, anyway, keep that in mind because that's relevant for the rest of the story. It's actually a battery from a Bluetooth headset, and I found the headset in the car park at Tesco's. I saw a blue light flashing and went over and retrieved the headset, and it died, but I kept the battery out of it. So anyway, nowhere around the house, couldn't find it in the drive. It's night time, it's gone 11 p.m. by now. Decided to check her car. So I'll take a torch out with me. I'll check her car thoroughly, inside and out, underneath it, round behind the tyres and things. Can't find it anywhere. And I just decide I'm going to go up the petrol station and just eliminate that so that we don't have to stop there and mess about tomorrow if we have to go walking around fields and things. These hearing aids cost £100, so if you can find them, it's worth finding them, so you don't have to pay out to replace them. So anyway, bear with me, because this will cut a long story short. So I take Mum's car, because hers is last on the drive up to the petrol station, park up outside in the bay nearest the pumps, and she said that she went in pump number 7, and I said, "Are you sure?" And she said, "Yep, pump 7." And I checked it, and she said she's been back to the petrol station 3 times and couldn't find it. She's walked around the pump, checked the pump, she's been in the shop, checked the floor in the shop, she's asked the guy in the kiosk, he says he hasn't seen it, no one's handed it in. So I'm like, right, let's go check the petrol station then, just to eliminate it so that we don't have to do it tomorrow. So I drive up the petrol station, it's gone 11 p.m, the petrol station's closed, and it's one of those, it's been refurbished lately, so when you drive in there or if you walk in there, the lights come on. So that was very handy. So I parked up, walked in there, all the lights came on. So I'm walking around the closed petrol station at night with the lights on, thinking, well, if the police show up, at least I've got a good reason to be here. So I checked round pump number 7, and you know, they back onto each other. So you've got 7 on one side and 8 on the other. So I check around 7 very carefully, can't find it. Walk around it, so I'm checking number 8 as well, can't find it. Check it thoroughly in the drive as well. Walk around 7 again, can't find it. Walk around 8 again, can't find it. So I've checked around 7 and 8 carefully twice. Keep in mind that I was an electronics inspector for about 5 years, so I know how to look for things. I've also got European Space Agency qualifications in hand soldering. So I have got a fine eye for detail. So I can't find it. I've checked it thoroughly, both 7 and 8 pumps. So I think I'll go up to the kiosk. So I walk up to the kiosk carefully from where number 7 pump is. So as if that was the path Mum took. Went up to the door, couldn't find it. Shone my torch through the shop window, no one in there. Can't find it. Look on the floor, can't see it anywhere. Come back out, retrace my steps back down to pump 8. Check pump 8 again, can't find it. Check pump 7 again, and starting to think perhaps you got the pump wrong. So I decided to check the whole petrol station. I go around all the pumps, there's 4 of them, 2 on each side. I go down the line where the drains are, looking through the drain with my torch, can't see it. Check around every pump and the car spaces in between. Can't find it anywhere. Go back to pump 7, check pump 7 again, can't find it. So I just decided I'm going to walk around pump 7 and 8 again, one last time. So this is the 3rd time I've checked it now. And I'm going around, and I'm just going around and carefully, and I can't see anything on 7, and I go around 8 again, and I check pump 8 again, and I see something shiny on the floor. And what I found on the floor, shining at me, was a 5p piece. So I chuckled to myself and I thought, oh well, at least we got some money out of it. So I bend down to pick up the 5p piece. While I'm bending down, right, picking up the 5p piece, I see something else shiny. And I bend down and I notice a gold paperclip. It's just a regular paperclip, but it's gold coloured. Now I've got a small thing about gold paperclips, because Mum keeps one in her cabinet, which is behind the camera over there. And if I see a gold paperclip, it always reminds me of my mum. So now I'm thinking, that was lucky. I'm thinking, oh well, at least we got the lucky pump. Chuckled to myself again. See, on the floor, I see another thing shining at me, about 2 feet away from the paperclip. Bend down and pick it up, and it's a fuse. Like, I don't know, it's a 5 amp standard size fuse. And I'm starting to think, oh, it's my lucky night. Look at all these trinkets. They're the sort of things I'd pick up in the road and put in the, the dash compartment in my car, just as like little good luck charms. So I've got a 5 amp fuse. I pick those up, right? Turn round to walk away, thinking that the hearing aid is not there. Turn around to walk away from the pump, giving up the search. 2 feet behind me, in the road behind me, is Mum's hearing aid. Right? I tell you now, I could not contain my smile. I checked that pump 3 times very carefully, and I didn't see it. And it was right in the middle of the road on the exit, 2 feet behind pump number 8. So I've just, mind blown. I'm smiling from ear to ear. I'm holding up this pump, and I'm thinking, how on earth did that get there when I checked it 3 times? Anyway, I'm kind of looking up at the stars, thanking God, and I'm thinking, well, mystical things really. And I decided to come home and I'm going to show it to my mum. I'm going to say to her, do you believe in God? And if she says yes, I'm going to give her the hearing aid. Anyway, she's gone to bed now, but it was a brilliant experience. Something else a bit odd, which kind of puts 2 and 2 together, is when I drove out of the petrol station, Mum's got a alloy wheel behind the passenger seat that we are taking in to get repaired because it's got a crack on the rim where she hit a curb. And that's always behind the passenger seat. And I checked it when I was checking the car for the hearing aid. It was definitely behind the passenger seat. When I drove out of the petrol station, I felt this thump in my back, the back of my chair. Looked round, put my hand round to check the chair, and the spare wheel was behind the driver's seat. And I hadn't been round any fast corners or anything. It was in the passenger seat when I left to go at the petrol station. By the time I got back in the car, it was behind the driver's seat. You think, oh, well, what's funny about that? But on the spare wheel that's on my mum's car at the moment, my brother's written the date on it. The date that he checked it. When he checked things on cars and MOT'd them, he always wrote the date on them in Tipex. So maybe my brother had a hand in it. Anyway, there's two trains of thought that you could choose, and this is the moral of the story, really. One is, did I miss it 3 times, and just lucky to find it on my 4th time as I'm walking away, giving up from the petrol station? Or did it manifest? Was it manifested from the field where it was to the petrol station just so I could find it? Anyway, my thought was, if you don't believe in God, you probably wouldn't find it. And if you did believe in God, then your faith and your belief and your vision manifested it. Right, that's tonight's moral of the story. And I've got the fire on down there, the halogen fire, which is giving me a nice orange glow. I'll show you what it looks like without it. It's not very nice at all. So hopefully this video came out all right. If you see it on Facebook, you'll see the uncut version. And if you see it on YouTube, you'll probably see it with intros and background music. But anyway, and excuse me if you can hear the telly on in the background. But I left it on because someone had left the radio on in the petrol station in the shop, which is also kind of interesting. Do you believe in God? You better. Right, that's my little video. Thanks very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.